All right.
Yeah, Carl. We're off to a
Mhm.
great start. Nick, it's great to have you back with us here again.
Thanks,
Um,
Neil.
I'm very excited to see this match.
Yeah, me too. I mean, Matt and Carl have both been fantastic players for
Yeah, obviously
the
they have
longest
the
time.
history.
Yep. And we got pretty interesting first five options on both sides. One thing that jumps out to me is Carl has some coal tech with root armor, but the three nature dice might be stretched a little thin between Frostback Bear and Gilder in the first round. So I wonder if
Yeah,
root armor will even be able to make it in the
he
first
had
round.
originally said that he wanted extra charm dice in his list. That it has been submitted incorrectly or something. Uh,
Oh yeah.
so he's supposed to have additional charm dice because I think in this matchup he's going to start Owl instead of Gilder. I'm not sure about that. I don't think Lightbringer's good, uh, but I think he's
Mm-hmm.
going to be on Bear, Owl, and something.
All right, there's the
Uh,
Frostback book, so only one more nature die there.
yeah,
So yeah, it's totally
and
possible we see root armor over Gilder, but with abundance down, I'm not sure how much damage Owl is going to be able to do.
that's true.
Here's
Oh,
the
so here's
charm,
the Gilder
possible
book.
Gilder book.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Gilder's the right idea here. Looking
Right
at,
against the abundance specifically, it's not great.
yep. So good call
And
on Carl's part there, and I
and Gilder
agree.
is good against Shadow Spirit.
Yeah. One of the biggest differences I see between the decks is Carl's deck seems to be stacked with a lot more units, and Matt's deck, Cole, has so much removal with the three Mist Typhoon, 100 Blades, three Fester, and of course as many slashes as you can get in. And with Abundance in the first five, we can probably expect to see a couple slashes right off the bat too.
Right.
So I
It's
think,
it's interesting because most of, I mean, with the exception of Bear and Swordsman, those big sweepers essentially hit everything.
yeah, totally.
It won't kill the Gilder with one, but you don't really care. Uh, but
Hmm.
Carl's deck is so heavily weighted into Sonic Swordsman. Um, like
Certainly.
that's essentially just his win condition. It answers all problems. It like because of Hunter's Mark, it just makes combat completely impossible for your opponent. And
Yeah, you get
uh,
upwards of 6 damage from the Hunter's Mark, and then you're guaranteed to land your Sonic Pulse Exhaustion. So certainly a great unit for Harold here. And
right,
Matt fires off the Abundance right away, adding some variety to the first five choices right off the bat. So there's possible pivots happening already.
yeah,
Bear
and
against Bear.
I've commentated a few of Matt's matches here, and he's essentially done that uh, every round.
Mm-hmm.
His he
Yeah,
wants to be a little more reactive. He wants to like summon his shadow spirits way late in the round. Um,
to avoid any early pings, perhaps.
right, just to get the and I've noticed this is something that like I probably could have come to the conclusion of, but I never really played Shadow Spirit before. So he does go with the Lightbringer. That's interesting.
All
Um,
right.
the Shadow Spirit spin down is a lot more important at the end of the round too. It seems like.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, and we see in Carl's list three Magic Siphon. That could give him a sizable advantage if the game goes extra long.
Right.
Status
I think
Spirit,
that
Power Cups.
Carl definitely has it if this game goes long. I just don't think
So,
that the Cold deck has the reach because he doesn't have the additional copies of Abundance to like only hit your opponent.
agreed.
Um,
Yep.
and it seems very likely that Carl's going to deck him before uh, Carl gets decked.
Yeah, well, so we'll see if Matt can use his aggressive removal to get some slashes in on Harold and punch damage through before the game goes too long. And Lightbringer here forcing the bear attack and getting the early guard. That's something I'm always happy to see when I'm a beatdown player. It gives you a lot of autonomy for how to control attacks for the rest of the round. So
it's definitely going to increase the value of his Shadow Spirits later.
Oh yeah, two attacks, placing that wherever you want.
Yeah. Those 2-1s for 1 dice are like very high value when the Phoenix Born is already guarded.
Definitely. And Gilder is going to give Carl 1 ping, so that'll stop a Shadow Spirit in its tracks if it comes down first. And I also see in Matt's list we have 1 gates thrown open. Certainly,
right. That's what I was just going to ask you about. He has the gates to get a lot of value here, or I'm a huge fan of particle shields, so I just love the particle shield blowouts.
Yeah, particle shields.
So I wonder if I mean, I think this is really greedy, like to try to start particle shield against the Gilder, but I think that would be cool.
Yeah, and I mean, Particle Shield has this really nice function against Harold's Hunter's Mark, where you prevent the 1 damage up front, and your opponent was expecting 2 damage from that Hunter's Mark doubling it. So Particle Shield really messing with the kind of guaranteed feel of Hunter's Mark that's typically seen with Herald decks. Here comes the first Shadow
Spirit. It's very similar to Root Armor in that way.
Mm-hmm. And so we see the Hammer Knight slash and the Mist Typhoon slash. Possible that the Hammer Knight was drawn into. I haven't been tracking the hand position particularly well, but
right.
Here's the
don't think that there's only 1 Hammer Knight in the deck, and I don't think this is a matchup where he would want to first 5 it against Hunter's Mark.
Yep, against Hunter's Mark, you got to be careful with your big units. So. All right, there's an illusion die, and it's the gates thrown open. So double abundance, double bear, double shadow spirit.
Yeah, and this is looking like a great gates. I wonder if he started it or if he drew it.
Mm-hmm. If I know Matt, I think he started it. This first 5 looks very curated, and we see 1 lone ceremonial power. Matt got a killer roll starting off. Rolled the, I believe he hasn't meditated yet. Rolled the 2 wolves for the shadow spirits and this ceremonial die, possibly threatening a fester.
So we did have a very good anchor knot here.
Anchor knot. That's totally a possible draw from the abundance, picking off the shadow spirits. Right. So none of those are connecting this time. Not able to take advantage of the early guard there from Harold.
And I wonder if he started, if his last card of first 5 was Fester. The cool deck, I mean, leaving up that single ceremonial power.
Yeah, I mean, Matt's a first 5 expert, and I'm not seeing a place necessarily for that ceremonial die to have been utilized in the first 5. Could have been one of those Chant of Revenges there, but it looks like that was drawn from the Abundance. So with Abundance drawing 4 cards and giving Cole plenty of slash fodder, I think Slash Fester is just a classic moving Cole, and rolling that ceremonial die at power level is just perfect for bluffing, because usually meditating for a power die will indicate what the texture of your hand is, but when you roll the power die, then you don't have to give away that piece of information.
Right.
So I would expect a Slash Fester on the bear pretty soon if that is the case.
Right. We're obviously not seeing another big unit this turn. He has the dice up for that Raptor Herder he just picked up.
Yep, Shepherd of Lost Souls recurring the Raptor Herder. So
if he's got 100 blades here, it might be better even than the second Frostback.
Ooh, 100 blades would have been a great pickup.
100 blades or a Mist Typhoon even. He doesn't meditate for the Mist Typhoon, but
here's a 2 shadows slashing the bear.
So there's the Fester.
Slash Fester. Yep, you got it.
So now he has a bear. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a slash for left over, but I think that's probably good value since that bear didn't attack.
Yep, and nothing here can stop a terrifying attack from the Frostback Bear, and we established earlier in the stream that Cole's probably the beat down here, so I think just sending the Frostback Bear to Harold is going to be good damage here, but...
He takes a really big swing back if he does that. Down. I guess not really big, it's only 4.
4 damage coming through, and...
Trading 4 for 2 doesn't seem great to me. Just like, especially with the life total difference.
Yep. So Matt has the option to Frostback Bear comes down here for sure, but
right.
Carl's gonna probably get the swing in with the Raptor Herder if he wants to convert that now.
I think they're just gonna stare at each other because, well, maybe not. I guess if Carl attacks all out here, he gets 2 damage in.
I mean,
I don't first.
I don't see a reason for Carl not to attack. The Frostback Bear isn't gonna. Oh, Carl asking if he used Hunter's Mark yet.
Yeah, I don't.
I wonder why that exhaustion token is there.
I don't remember.
Okay, there's Hunter's Mark, and all right, certainly enough damage with Shepherd.
So he's just marking and going to the face to make the block less good.
Yep. We'll see if Matt takes it. Certainly don't want to block the Raptor Herder and lose your bear this early here. So taking 2 damage to pick off the Shepherd. And
I think that's a fine block. At very worst for him, it's just going to eat a frog that Carl potentially rolls at the start on his opening next turn.
Carl going first in the second round is a big deal here. Matt had a chance to easily draw 100 Blades or Miss Typhoon AoE spell and really set the tone, but Carl's going to be able to possibly go for another Raptor attack.
Yeah, the Raptor attack into 2 bears, one of which Matt really wants to block with before it gets Gildered, is a lot less impressive than the previous attack. I don't know.
So
it's going to depend a lot on.
Carl rolls a frog here. That'll really change things. And there's the frog.
Yeah, I mean, he was 50-50 to do it, right?
Yeah, that math seems about right. I don't know for certain, but 3 dice, 1 in 6 chance on each of them. I think that's how it works. I don't know. But whatever the case, he got it. So ping and attack is certainly on the table, and still no units that are able to block Terrifying, so might be in Carl's best interest to just keep going with some attacks. And he certainly has the books to help stabilize.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like you said, Carl. So he's making a Lightbringer because that stops the sweeper play, I guess, and it gives him an additional man and taps a blocker. So that seems fine. You're going to get a slash on one of the men. So you'll be down a Raptor probably.
Slash would be nice to take care of the Raptor here. But with a main action attack, definitely reducing Matt's options to do other stuff. Just going for a humble ping here. Matt valuing
nature power instead of slash.
Interesting choice there. Maybe signifying that the hand is a little nature light here. We're going to be using another
or just dice light in general. Obviously, he's not going to have another big Gates turn, and most of the cards in his deck are very cheap. We saw the Hammer Knight go by already.
Yep. So we can start to see what's left in Matt's toolkit here. We saw 1 Chant of Revenge go away, possibly one of the tools that would help him close out a longer game, which Carl seems to maybe have the advantage in.
Yeah, he He hasn't actually played an ally yet, right? So, the chant.
That's true. And there's not a ton of allies in the Cold deck. We got 3 Raptor Herder and 2 Shadow Guard left.
So
Dice are up for Shadow Guard.
Because he meditated away that Lightbringer book.
Oh, okay. Okay. It's done its job. Magic Siphon coming down. Great card.
The Lightbringer was good for sure.
Long game. Yeah, that's a hard unit to go wrong with. It just has a big impact on how you want to orchestrate your turns. And it's a 1/1 body that can be picked up by Cole pretty easily, but just by coming into play, it does its job. So you're not super worried about the Lightbringer's board presence.
Right. I think it's like close to at its worst in a match like this, but it still has been good. That's just a testament to how good that card actually is.
Absolutely. And there's 1 Chant of Revenge. Get some value. And
yeah, I agree with you. I think that is one of the ways he wins the long game, if there's a way.
Mm-hmm. And, coming over Matt's list for any additional burn. 100 Blades gets a couple hits in there, but not a whole lot of burn. So Matt's really going to have to get some damage through by attacking.
Yeah, and the Gilder makes it like essentially impossible for him to ever slash face.
Yeah, that 2 life for 1 die. It's just gonna soak up.
You're not gonna have enough cards to push through that.
Mm-hmm. And a Shadow Spirit's down, making use of that illusion power die before it can get spun down. I'm a fan of that. Every power die you roll is important. And the Hollow here to mess things up even more. Could go for illusion dice to shut down the Shadow Guard. And locking.
We'll just put you on all basics.
That works. Call upon the Realms. A nice inclusion for Cole here with Abundance giving us plenty of draw. So great little dice reload here for Matt. And
it's obviously like extra good now after we saw the Hollow and the Siphon. I mean, he could easily have another Hollow. There are 3 Hollows in the pile, but
that's right.
Significantly less likely now.
And Carl does have 2 Shepherd of Lost Souls. We've seen one of them already, but that's another ally recursion option for him. And a slash comes through. Pick off the 2/1.
The slash is interesting to me. I think it indicates that he probably doesn't have a sweeper right now. Yeah,
we see Matt.
I mean, maybe he's just doing it to save 2 damage for himself because he's not going to block the thing. So maybe just discarding a card to gain 2 life is good enough.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that. And Hunter's Mark is still on the table for this round, so those 2 attack units threaten Frostback Bears very highly, and Matt's got to land those Frostback Bear hits. And Carl gets a bear of his own to block Terrifying and put some of his own pressure down. And 2 attack with Hunter's Mark, just devastating. Like Matt's going for a meditate here. Another Fester down the drain. Grabbing some illusion dice. Smells like a Shadow Guard to me.
I was going to say, this definitely indicates Shadow Guard. Shadow Guard is a sneaky boy, but he's never that sneaky.
That's right. 2 illusion. It takes some effort to keep those dice up, so it's not that sneaky. And Hunter's Mark definitely can reduce the ability for Shadow Guard to do what it wants to do, but Matt can also use it as retaliation. We've
seen Matt play Shadow Guard in a few matches here, and it's essentially just like a 2 illusion removal spell for Frostback Bear. Mm-hmm. But like you said, if he wants to attack something marked with a Frostback Bear, then that's a different story.
Yeah. No great mark targets out until Matt puts the Frostback Bear down. We'll see if Matt even goes for Frostback Bear anymore. We don't know what's left in his hand. Smells like a Shadow Guard. Matt also used Call for the ceremonial die, so that could be I think there's a third Fester still hanging around. Could be the second Chant of Revenge. That would be a big pickup this early in the game. Burn damage looks to be super valuable for this matchup.
It's not even that early in the game, honestly. The abundance and the magic siphon stuff has really accelerated the decks.
Yeah, Matt already down to 13 cards.
I mean, this is round 2. Like,
and
they could both be decked by round 4.
Did Matt take a side action here?
Yeah. Very important for the bear blocks.
Yep, I did not see a side action. Meditating was the turn previous.
That's what I thought too.
All right. Carl blocking the highest attacking units. That's great. And also not killing the one ally to prevent Chant of Revenge from powering up. So very prudent plays. But not clearing away any of those units. So Matt's swinging at the top of the round. So having a full battlefield by the end of this round ain't going to be too shabby for Matt.
Yeah, I think that... I mean, he's not going to have a full battlefield, but it will have some...
Yeah, as big as we can. Super curious to see if Matt's going to go Frostback Bear this round against the Hunter's Mark. And one thing I find really interesting about Carl's deck here is the reaction spell suite. We have 3 spells that are leaning on that one charm die. So charm die setting up the Gilder book in round 1, but being used looks like nearly exclusively for the reaction spells in this matchup. The Three-Eyed Owl is a possible pivot, but it's only a one of, and we haven't seen it at the table yet. So.
Again, Carl had said that he wanted more charm dice in his list.
Yeah.
For just exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it can be hard to land those Golden Veils, Call to Actions, and Golden Veil, a card that'll certainly be meaningful against Fester. Matt's technique seems to be slash Fester or AoE Fester, and being able to cancel the second half of that combo is going to really hurt if Matt commits a slash to that and then
it feels really bad if you slash first and then get Golden Veiled on the Fester.
Yeah. 100 blades in the tank.
This is a bear, I'm sure. Yep. Even if this gets marked, it like saves him some damage, and it forces Carl to attack something that isn't already in play. Just extra bodies, like you were talking about having guys at the beginning of.
Yeah, we could see the particle shield absolutely shut down the mark. That would be super against the bear if Carl commits his Frostback Bear to a mark play.
That would be sick.
Then
I haven't been paying enough attention to know for sure that he has one left, but I don't remember seeing one go by in the
I haven't seen a particle shield yet, so Matt's on 2 of them, so it's certainly a play, and just throwing the bear at it. Carl taking the damage.
Yeah. I think that probably indicates he doesn't have it just because he wants to get the use out of the bear beforehand, but he can still have it.
Agreed, and we did kind of sniff out the Shadow Guard earlier, but I want to put it past Matt to do a bait and switch there.
Second
Magic Siphon in the second round. That is going to be impactful. Carl definitely making the right play going for Siphons over Lightbringer.
Now we're going to almost have to see a Meditate for that last illusion dice.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And every Meditate just matters so much for Cole. Yeah. He does not want to be throwing away cards.
I mean, at this juncture, you can almost meditate the chant.
Yeah.
I don't know how much damage it's actually going to do this game at the pace of the decking.
I would be scared to get rid of it personally here. I know Carl's certainly playing around the Chant of Revenge, and I think for good reason, because that is Matt's tool to close out the game. So we do not... Carl does not want Chant of Revenge to be triggering there, and Matt may be going to do whatever he can to do it. There's a slash on the Frostback Bear. Goodbye, Shadow Guard.
Oh, here's the Fester.
It's the slash Fester. Charm dies on class, so it is safe.
This was the other option to what we said, where instead of meditating the third dice into being able to play Shadow Guard, he just pitches it to the slash. And
Beautiful.
now we have a Magic Siphon into Snake.
Another Shadow Spirit book. That's good here. The siphons are down. Matt using his illusion die. Oh, great use of the illusion dice there. Jumping off the Shadow Guard, going for the Shadow Spirit instead. And Charm die just for the dice power. Very nice.
Yep.
With the Gilder at 2 life there, that's a nice hit. Matt gets a spin down on Carl's Divine die to prevent the 1 attack coming back.
If he
let's see what
decides to do
happens
it.
here.
I think this one's a May, so oh, it's not even a May.
I don't believe Shadow Spirit.
He did attack anyway, so.
He didn't attack?
I meant Carl didn't attack.
Oh.
Yeah, we should stop him here real quick, because Carl's going to keep that dice icing.
Yep, that is mandatory there.
Yep, there you go.
And Carl still deciding to keep it. Don't blame him there. It doesn't look like his deck has many ways to utilize Divine Power, so no need to roll it and risk it going to basic.
The only thing is Shepherd, I think. Besides power action, but... So...
Okay, so...
We did have Matt essentially untap 2 bears here, which is pretty strong.
Yeah, no kidding.
Why is that other bear still exhausted? Okay.
Oh,
it's not.
There we go. All right, so slashing away the Mist Typhoon and sending in the team. 2, 4,
attack.
6, 8, 9 damage. Carl has to block here, and considering where to put the blockers, again, not letting that rapid hurt die. Yeah, those 2 ones gotta go.
It saves you more damage and it doesn't turn on chant.
Taking 5 hits and cashing in those bears right away feels good.
Yep.
And
obviously, like, he had a bunch of Gilderable guys too that he needed to convert.
Yeah, yep. Cole loves those top of rounds. So we saw 100 blades get meditated away. 2 more possible ones could be 2 pieces of burn. Matt had to do a slash to get the Gilder at the start there, but with Herald on an empty board here, slash is a risk, so Carl's really got to be thinking about filling up that battle.
He definitely has to make a unit.
Looks like he's maybe going for bear, could be the Gilder. Spinning up 2 of his own dice, deciding his are more important than metting Matt out here. I think that big hit might have been a little scary. 4 life is not a safe place to be.
So,
and yep, going for the Frostback Bear. Carl meditated up sympathy there, right?
He meditated up a frog and a lion.
Frog and a lion, okay. And not a single Sonic Swordsman has hit the table yet. We were talking about that as being a key unit for Carl right at the beginning. But
it's safe now. Before it could be festered, but all the festers are gone.
Yep, we're done with that. So I'm
not sure there's anything left in the Cole deck that deals with it very well besides killing him past it.
Yeah, I think it.
Yep,
there it is.
Yep,
Magic Siphon going up for that Divine die.
Yeah, so
clear.
So when I said that Shepherd was the only thing, I was just being dumb because obviously this takes a lion. But
yeah, I missed that too.
But yeah, so the Swordsman, obviously a very impactful unit, makes it very difficult for these even both Shadow books now to get anything done.
Certainly the case, yep. And yeah, 2 beaters on the board for Carl. We could see this life differential being squeezed closer. And Matt can force Chant of Revenge with Cole's Slash. He can slash his own units. So as long as Matt can commit an ally to the table, it can turn into Chant of Revenge and Call Upon the Realms, just fixing all those dice.
So this was a Call Upon the Realms into ceremonial side action for Raptor Herder.
Oh, taking damage from the dice power and doing nothing on board. Oh, I think we got another Shadow Guard.
There are 2 in the list. I think we've only seen 1.
We'll see if Carl goes all in on these units. That bear's not going to be able to get past a Shadow Guard, and I don't even know if Carl can commit to it.
If he attacks with both units, he can attack with the Shadow Guard, yeah.
Take the damage, and then, yeah, no Ice Trap, no ping on Carl's end here. Siphoning for a frog would be really impactful before attacking to prevent the possible retaliation there. But then again, Matt has Particle Shield, and we haven't seen any of those, so even a ping isn't quite going to be it.
Yeah, the attack, the sequence of attack, Shadow Guard, no block, frog ping, but you can't Particle Shield then, because you played a reaction already.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was thinking it was over.
I had to literally say it out loud to get there, but
yeah,
I was like, this is going to be awesome, and then
Ashes is hard.
Yeah.
Here's a Shadow Spirit just to force some dice spending from Carl. Carl's really investing on the board. He's low on dice, so all of his cards are on the table. Matt has a lot of flexibility with his dice, but it's a scary board that Carl's got.
Right, double Sonic is you just can't attack.
And yeah, Mark is gonna help Carl guarantee to get an exhaustion wherever he wants it. There's the Gilder to pick up the Shadow Spirit. Does Matt have the Particle Shield? This could be the time to play it if
now is the time for Particle Shield. Yep,
and there it is. And a spicy little card draw here never hurts.
Especially good for Cole. I don't think he has enough main actions, but he could slash those things down.
Yep, absolutely.
Right. 1 nature.
We did see Matt recur the Raptor Herder. Oh, 2 nature, 100 blades, 1 to the face.
Okay.
And another card.
Did he play one? I know he milled 100 blades before.
This is the first AoE that's been played.
We played a Mist Typhoon, or maybe he didn't play it. I thought he discarded one. I'm not sure.
There's 1 meditate and 1 slash, I believe. Yeah. Or maybe 2 slashes? Slash from round 1
so
slash.
Probably 3 sweepers left in the deck.
Yeah, and Matt's only down to 3 cards, so you gotta imagine he's holding on to most of his tools now. Carl's got a healthy deck of 11, so yep. Matt's trying to finish this out as soon as possible. Carl trying to hang on till the end. We got Sonic Sword.
This has to be a Mark attack. Interesting that he chose to fight the ally. I guess he doesn't want to let him have a bareback to summon.
Yeah, Carl not wanting to hit the Shadow Spirit, just to keep life on the board.
I'm not quite sure. He wants to exhaust the Shadow Spirit.
Oh, there you go. Yep, Sonic Pulse. There you go. And there's the reaction spell. Carl's last die, healing 2 health from Herald.
Yeah. The life obviously big. Also Hunter's Mark back for the other Sonic.
All right, taking the game from just out of reach to every point of healing really matters in the late game here. That's when you want to be playing it too. If your opponent is trying to plan out those exact last points of burn, and every point of healing just dismantles that plan. So lucky for Matt, he does have that Chant of Revenge this round. And with no dice on the table, Shadow Spirits are unpingable.
Yeah, he gets to do Sonic Trick again, though.
Yep. Powerful use of dice for Carl this round. Those Sonic Swordsmen are a big threat. Is this another 100 blades? I don't know what those dice would be spent for otherwise.
Yep.
And he can even slash to pick up the bear.
Pretty good.
We'll let the first card resolve before we commit. There's the slash. Goodbye, Mist Typhoon. Who needs them? Hitting the bear. So big deal for Matt. getting both 100 blades down certainly helped control the board. I think we're going to be going into next round for sure. But yeah, 100 blades getting those 2 critical points of burn damage with not a whole lot of burn options left for Matt. So he's got to be feeling good about drawing those.
Yeah, it's just going to be really tough for Matt, I think, to put these last damage through.
I agree.
Because I find it's very likely that one of the bears is not going to untap. It's going to get pulsed to the second counter.
So you think Carl might attack the unexhausted Shadow Spirit just for a double exhausted bear? Yeah. Every unit's a threat at this point. Going
now he definitely has to exhaust something, and there's the damage from Chant.
Cashing that Chant, going down to 3 again.
So he's got 1 illusion power left. Is there something he could play that would be a threat here?
Matt saying GG here. It does look like that's 3 damage that can get around 1 unit. Says you have a SS in hand, Shadow Spirit. GG.
The last Shadow Spirit book will push the last damage through.
Excellent game from 2 excellent players.
Very close.
End of round 3. That's a hot place for Cole to be winning.
End of round 3, 2 cards left in his pile.
The pressure was on. Yeah, Matt did not want that game to be going any longer. Carl saying he thought he had Matt outplayed in the first 5.
Right, because Matt slashed a Typhoon early instead of playing that Typhoon.
Yeah, excellent game. And Cole, I think, winning his first major tournament. Fantastic job. And congratulations to Matt. Congratulations to Carl. Making it all the way to the finals. It's just super consistent players duking it out. You can't ask for anything better.